it's like written in some kind of weird way where you don't really know what they're like actually saying and stuff. Like, it seems like some kind of weird language.
Los pandilleros.
I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I'm here. You see me, I see you, you know what I'm saying? Look at me and admire it.
Not every person who's a tagger is a gang member.
The graffiti that we see send positive messages to youth. I think that's a really good way to communicate.
Let me show you this. See this pen over here? How would you like it if I started writing my name on your shirt?
I wouldn't like it too much.
I think a lot of people who are graffiti artists need a venue. They need they need a place to put their work.
A tag is a name that somebody is building up for themselves to get fame, and so they, write their name everywhere so people instill it in their minds.
A tag is like a nickname.
Oh, someone's signature.
A tag is a personal signature, just so you can post up your name, sort of like a "I was here" kind of sign.
Tag is where they kind of leave their mark, like a gang leaves their mark.
A tag is, I guess, a code name or a name that people choose to go by.
You can
hit up on the wall.
You can hit up on the wall. They either give it
anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. They either give it to you or you gotta choose it.
I'm an artist. I don't consider myself a tagger. Graffiti is just another way of art form. Before I did graffiti, I could draw.
Some people like to take art classes. You can take art classes. Like, you can learn how to draw people. I'm trying to take art classes. I want to learn how to draw people. So if I ever do a piece, I can mix my graffiti with art.
It's all in the wrist. It's something that's, it's something that's learned. You can't be taught that. You gotta learn it, you know what I'm saying? You can see it all day, but you'll never learn how to do it unless you do it yourself.
Everything's math, just scaling out a wall, knowing how much room you have, and how much feet, how much square feet, how much paint you got, how much to measure the weight of paint, just grabbing a can and shaking it. Is it half full or half empty?
Just be out, like, having a good time. Somebody's got a can, and then everybody's just like, oh, and it sets off from there, and everybody does their own thing, but it's never really premeditated.
Everyone's got something from someone else. Everyone learns from each other in this, you know what I'm saying? Graffiti would not be graffiti without, taking this little thing and flipping it to your own. You gotta, you gotta start somewhere.
It's also like a game. It's the game of trying to get away from the cops.
Gang graffiti has to do with jealousy and, trying to quote-unquote represent your hood, but it's like, you can tell because they'll take it to an extent where a normal graffiti writer wouldn't take it to.
Because you just, gang graffiti is just a tag. But then you got the other graffiti, the traditional graffiti, which is, all them colored, big, big productions, straight letters, whole walls.
Most tagged up neighborhood in the city.
Most crushed part of the city would be Chinatown.
Chinatown, Haight Street.
Chinatown, Haight Street, downtown.
Probably the Mission and the Haight.
The Mission, probably, or the Tenderloin. That's what I'm thinking about. Downtown. Around that area.
Places that they can get away with it, places that are not like really so patrolled by the police.
Downtown Market Street right now is just insane. You can drive by and see like 100 shots on one block. You can see like 50 on one corner.
The Intermission and Hunters Point.
Bayshore.
Bayshore.
Sunset, because, that's where I was from, so everybody thinks of their own city, or everybody thinks of their own neighborhood is the most crushed.
Mission, of course.
Most crushed in Frisco, everything's crushed in Frisco. There's not a place that you can't go that's just crushed. But I would say a lot of people try to go to Chinatown and downtown and do a lot of rooftops, and that's what they try to do, but really all that shit, if you ain't running citywide and running outside of San Francisco, you ain't crushing nothing, period.
Everybody's starting to migrate downtown. Everybody's starting to get back into the urban aspect of it and less of a neighborhood, residential thing, and that's where it needs to be.
As a merchant, I feel like every morning, one of the first things I do is I walk outside and I come and I look at my building and see if I need to paint over something. I keep paint in the back, and if there's a tag, then I have to paint over it.
I paint every day. Next day put.
I understand that it is to them a form of expression, and I wish there was a different way they could express it, or in a different place.
Graffiti is renegade public art,
from the Department of Public Works, we respond to complaints, and majority of the complaints that we do get are graffiti related. And so,
to me, graffiti is writing on walls. The definition here is when you add comments that could hurt anybody.
Can't remember a time when I didn't see graffiti. I've lived 5 blocks away from Mission Street, which is one of the most tagged on streets in the whole city. And then I thought it was stupid. I despised it. I didn't really think it benefited anything or anyone. But now I see artistry in it, and I appreciate that.
I think there's a lot of graffiti that adds beauty to our neighborhood. I mean, I would much rather look at beautiful graffiti art on the building next door that's all boarded up than just look at the boards or advertisements.
It's an expression. I think anything like, that's what art is. It's an expression of something.
Well, as far as the term that I'm familiar with, I like piecing. I like when people do this, like when they actually spend some time doing some sort of design and putting it up in a complete art form.
But it's funny though, once people start getting their art out there, everyone's like, oh man, you're such a great artist. What were you thinking when I was doing that? It's like, you know what I was thinking when I was doing that? I said, why in the hell am I sitting here doing this art and I'm not getting paid? And all of a sudden I'm hanging out with all these rich white people and they call me an artist, but before I'm doing it on someone's house and I'm a vandal.